Greetings, everybody. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of Wildermyth, which originally aired live on Twitch August 26th. This series will serve as both a tutorial and a Let's Play series. As a tutorial, I'll be going over all of the game mechanics that I think you need to know from the start. As a Let's Play series, it will be incorporating a lot of the viewer feedback. Individual characters will be assigned to lucky raffle winners that are live viewers of the stream, and they'll be able to make the decisions for their characters without anyone else's input. Additionally, because this is a bit of a tutorial and also new for a lot of my viewers, I am only playing the starting tutorial mission, which is a 3-part chapter, and also playing on adventure difficulty. Let's get started. Wildermyth, like I said, is a game, procedurally generated story RPG, and I am going to start from the very top, which means we're going to be doing the first campaign, and I am going to be explaining it as a tutorial. That way, if you're new to the game, you get to learn as we play, and then as we go on, we'll introduce more characters and have you make decisions for yourself. So the very quick how to play, and wow, the music just kicked up a whole lot. But you don't really need to know about this because these aren't the decisions that the viewers will be making. But you pan the camera as normal. Much like other turn-based RPGs, you can do sort of 2 actions per turn. This isn't exactly true because there are free actions. So you can move and then strike and then move, so on and so forth. Flanking has a 100% hit chance. Walling is something that happens where you take less damage when you're standing next to an ally. It does not stack. Action points. So a strike here ends the turn. Swap weapon is free. Interfuse here is a swift action, which you get 1 free per turn. But then it costs you an action. And then attack scenery would be a single action. It costs 1 point. For cover, there is good cover and great cover and no cover. And cover helps to protect you from ranged attacks. Gray plane is when a hunter is invisible, they ignore armor. But this does not mean that you won't be struck by enemies. Enemies will still strike you if they happen upon you. Interfuse or interfusion is when your spellcasters can use scenery objects to attack enemies, and this will make a lot more sense once I get through the tutorial. Generally speaking, axes shred armor, spears have extra range, swords increase block and accuracy, mace is knockback and do extra damage, and daggers do double damage when flanking. Fire spreads to nearby debris, and it's mitigated with warding. Your objectives will be in the top left. It's not always to defeat everyone. Sometimes it will be to escape or something else. And yes, retreating or escaping is sometimes better than just being defeated. I think that's all I'm going to go. Well, no, we're almost at the end here. Overland tiles allow you to do specific actions like reinforce, build, scout, etc. There will be multiple things that you can do on the world map, the overland map. So this is a recruit, this is combat, this is reinforce, this is build. You build up legacy points, LP, and LP will be tracked in the top right of the screen, but you build up legacy points by recruiting. Well, recruiting costs legacy points, building stations cost legacy points, or canceling calamities cost legacy points. And again, I'll go over this as we play. That's not that important for right now. That's not that important. Periodically, there will be something called Incursions. Incursions is when the boss or the main enemy of the campaign starts to attack the land, and it will be up to you to repel it manually or repel it with the defenses that you've built. And infestations give strength to incursions. I think that pretty much is the primer, and we'll go from there. I've switched my player, so this is a brand new campaign, and I'm going to be picking a new story. So as you can see, there are multiple chapters here, and then there are some multiplayer chapters. It's possible I'm not going to guarantee it, but it's possible that I do multiplayer in the future, like actual multiplayer, but I'm not sure about that yet. So, we're going to be doing the story Age of Ulstrix, a 3-chapter story that is geared towards new players, face off against the implacable Gorgon leader Ulstrix. So here is the campaign options. The main enemy will be Gorgons. This is very, very important for you to remember. The main enemy is the main calamity, and you will be given a chance to make them weaker periodically. So it's very important that you know what your main enemy is. For the start, I'm just going to do Adventurer, which is the standard difficulty, rather than cranking it up, because of course the viewers, you guys, are going to be making a lot of the decisions about character building and development, and because I don't expect you to necessarily be a pro at this game, playing at a higher difficulty would be bad. I'm not, obviously, using any mods, and I have no idea what this map seed is. Obviously, it was random. So, the party select. You are going to start with 3. They're going to be a warrior, a hunter, and a mystic. A warrior tends to have... So, the important differences between them, of course, is the abilities that they're going to gain as they level up, and the retirement age. For the first campaign, retirement age is not that big of a deal. But for other campaigns, because a 3-chapter campaign takes about 30 years, which means a 20 or 30-year-old warrior is not likely to retire by the end of the campaign. A 5-chapter campaign means that the characters that you start with are very unlikely to either be young enough to last the entire campaign, possibly mystics will, young mystics particularly, or they might die off. So your characters are your starting characters, but these may change over the course of your campaign. Unlike traditional RPGs where you start and finish with basically the same subset of people. Each character here gets a sort of behavior. So hold on, a snarky romantic, a romantic poet, a compassionate romantic. What I'm going to do is just re-roll them all to let you know that, yeah, they're truly, truly random. And they have their own little personalities here. So if we go to aspects, they have their origins and whatnot. So if we check stats, for instance, their different upbringings and origins give them different statistics. And I'm not going to min-max this. And then they also have a personality. So our aloof snark here is highest is snark in lonely, which is why they're the aloof snark. But again, I'm not going to be messing with that because you could spend ages customizing your characters exactly how you'd want them. I'm also not going to be... the hot-headed greedwagon and the romantic greedwagon. Let's go with people that we might actually like. A snarky intellectual hunter, that works. And a poetical leader for our mystic. Perfect. Okay, I like this. We have Gwen, Lorlath, and oh man, I am going to struggle with that name, so... Silway. Okay. And I will be raffling them off in just a minute. Howler. Okay, I like these names. So, let me kick off the raffle timer. I'm going to reset eligibilities. Now, if you'd want them to be raffled to you, it's going to go to subscribers of mine. How is Tusk and Yoda? They're good. Yoda's right here. Tusk is not in the room right now, and I'm not going to call her. But she's busy. But yeah. That blew up. Hold on one second. I need to fix some... Wow, that exploded. Cool. Good to know. No, it wasn't the game crashing. It was some of the buttons that I have bound got unbound. So what I'm doing here is... Let me fix that. There. I think it's fixed. Cool, it's fixed. Alright, so if you'd like to be eligible for these 3 starting characters, a raffle timer's up. It ends in 2 minutes here. And these are our starting 3. Now, you can also pick how many calamities you want to start with, and I'm going to go with the recommended of 0, because, of course, this will be sort of a foray tutorial. So we have Gwen, Aller, and Silway. And then it's going to procedurally generate the world. And let me read this. This book. There's room in it for another story. It's cold. I'm stuck here. Maybe I don't survive the night. So this is, of course, Silway's words. Then these words are for my friends. If you find me, be brave, Gwen, Aller. This is a warning, but where do I begin? Here in our yondering country, something in the woods is very strange. Bothered only by the prodding of her own self-doubts, a young woman named Gwen takes the seasonal road to the town of Damtrack. Roads, 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 roads. Buzzards, beetles, snakes, and toads. I don't know what I'm supposed to be thinking. Good sunshine, at least. If only my eyebrows were less annoying and my hands were bigger. Breeze is light that day. Birds are timid. In fact, the whole world is taking a breath, ready to leap in the sea. I'm there already, huh? Here's the hard part, getting Aller out of bed, or worse, if I have to dislodge him from a book, or... And that is the timer. So give me 1 second. Paddywagon, you will be Gwen. And let me set this up here. It'll take me just a minute. And Yuichi, you will be Aller. Even though, well, no, maybe Silway. And William, ooh, I'm just going to call you William K for a lack of space here. You're going to be the third character. And now for character names. Okay, and now that we have our cast, as you can see at the top right, we have the full cast. So there it is. That's smoke. Fluttering flames roost among the far-off rooftops. Gwen hurries towards the town, thinking of Aller, a young man whom she's known since girlhood. All right, so Gwen, this is your choice here. Oh my god, Kadath. That is so many gifted subs. Oh, wow. Well, thank you, Kadath. I sure hope you win one of these. So, Gwen, you get to choose what you think of Aller here. Your choice is, of course, rivalry, friendship, or romance. It will be up to you. And the decision timer is right there, if I can point at it. So just @tag me with your decision. So you can either be rivals with Aller, be a friend, or a romantic interest. Okay, friendship it is. Aller, where is everyone? Did you get tired of buildings? So this is going to cover some of the tutorials yet again. And green is like a half turn, yellow is a full turn. And my goal currently, as you can see in the top left here, is to put out fires. So I'm going to go to this fire and then extinguish it. So as you can see, extinguish is a single action that ends your turn. There's one fire down. Now you don't want to step in the fire, and it will actually warn you about that. As you can see, stepping in the fire is 2 damage. So I'll step next to it, put it out again. Pretty straightforward. Well, let's run to the door. And swing it open. Swinging open the door is a swift action, which does not cost us a movement, provided we only do one per turn. His house is still standing, at least. Aller, shout something. Knock, knock. She doesn't know. Why is no one? The door unlocks. Aller shoves it open. Hey, do you not smell the... I smell the smoke. Get inside. Whoop. All right. You are... Patty Wagon, you're about to have another decision here in a moment. Your bow. Yeah, my bow. The blaze is secondary. It's Doom's detail. A herd of these hideous, afflicted-looking beasts. They stampeded in. I managed to trap one behind the house. Small victory. Staying in here isn't really an option. Right, so here, I've got some tools around. You're stronger than I am. You can swing something pretty good. I bet we can at least drive it off. So, Paddy Wagon, you can pick a pitchfork, which is sort of like a spear-based weapon, a pickaxe, or frying pan. The decision is yours. All right, pitchfork it is. It can be killed, right? If we're steady and methodical, we can manage it. Thing can't be invincible. Just don't take any dumb risks. So, here's the foe card. The foe card indicates what kind of foes you're going to be facing. And this foe card is a rope. Kind of like an angry deer. So, Gwen here is the warrior, 20 years old, and Aller Dunn is the farmer. They can pick turns, and the way this turn-based game works is it's my turn, then enemy's turns. So I can pick my character's turns in any sequence that I wish. So I'm going to have her run to the door, and I'm going to have Aller join her, walling next to her. And I will open the door and wait. So here's the row. So, this is informing me that walling reduces incoming damage by 1. It does not stack. So I'm going to have Aller go out here and plug the row. 86% chance to hit for 3 damage, a 15% chance to stun. Stunting in this game is basically a critical hit. And he stunts. Well, I guess you didn't need Gwen. At the end of the combat, the experience will be rewarded. And now, Gwen. Oh, Gwen, you have a choice to be made. So Gwen, Blacksmith, her last name is Blacksmith, wow, okay, is now a Greenhorn Warrior. And if we had legacy points, we could be able to re-roll. So you're going to be giving one of 3 different abilities. Paladin. If Gwen ends her turn by moving, she will automatically enter Guardian. Guardian is a position where if anyone gets close to her, she attacks it for free, like a reaction attack. Backslam. As a swift action, every other turn, Gwen knocks an enemy up to 3 tiles away, dealing 1 damage. 1 damage for each armor Gwen has. Or Untouchable. When Gwen gets a kill, the next attack against her within 1 turn will miss. So, decision timer is up. And Paddy Wagon, backslam it is. Aller Dunn also leveled up, and he is now a Greenhorn Hunter. He can choose Ember Arrows. When standing by a blaze, Aller's range attacks have added damage shred and start fires when he fires. Or Quelling Moss. Quelling Moss is like a thrown poison sack. His physical attacks apply poison. As an action, he can toss a flask of burning moss that applies poison to one poison all units in an area. Or the last one, Flash Cone. Once per combat, Aller throws a flash cone that blinds enemies and deals magic damage. If thrown at an ally, they will be hidden. So, William K., this is your decision. Just 1, 2, or 3. 3. Flash cone it is. Alright. I'm going to make... so these choices are going to be left up to all of you. And we're going to have quite a few of these, so they're going to be very, very short timers here. And there's the poll. Viewer's choice. I'm not going to leave up the full 2 minutes. So, the base dodge of Gwen is 48. This would raise it up to 53. And the base dodge of Aller is 55. This would raise up to 60. I guess I could have put the option to salvage it in, but I'm not going to be considering salvage, because that doesn't make any sense. And this is a brooch, which would, of course, go where brooches go. Alright, looks like dodge is going to go to Gwen. So here it is. A brooch of grace. Nice. Yes, these are going to be very, very quick pulls. Climbing gear is permanent, by the way. Just thought I should note that. Did you see that thing? What could have wrought such a change? The creature's death is quiet. It seems to slip from life in a few stunned, hazy blinks. They'll spend a piece of the day getting the flames under control. The damage isn't as bad as it could have been. Townsfolk emerge from hiding to fight fires and clear debris. Some full of curiosity, others visibly haunted by what they've seen. We should go. Silway is alone. Which isn't necessarily worrying, but just anyway, a promise is a promise. Silway? She's at that ruined tower by now. Kind of an outsized hike, given our late start. Maybe, but a later start won't help. Silway will be waiting for us. What happened today could be happening everywhere, couldn't it? Something about that tower is just stuck in my mind. It's like when you get apple skin in your teeth. Now, I'll adjust the music after this this dialogue. I know the sensation you described. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, I just think we said we'd meet her. We should. The tower in the hills. You've been there? Yeah, once. Actually, looking at the tracks, they come and go. They come and they go in that direction. Gwen and Aller follow the pounded path of monstrous feet, hoping for the best and dreading every other possibility. All right, so this is Aller Dunn's potential relationship to Silway. So, Aller Dunn, William K., this would be your choice. You can either choose rivalry, friendship, or romance. No. Stupid ambient volume. Somehow that didn't get set. Alright, rivalry it is. A wordless while passes between them, but the quiet only heightens their worry. I know you won't exactly get along with Silway these days, or I know you don't exactly get along with Silway these days, maybe not, no. You know what it is? It's like today. While we clean up what I'm going to assume was her mess, but I bet that Busybody's up there now, without a care in the world. Alright, so find Silway in the old tower. Currently, we're in Damtrack here. And we need to scout the next overland map tile towards Silway. In this menu selection, you can pick who you want to travel. And as you can see, hunters are particularly good at scouting. I'm going to obviously send them both, but... And as as we go, days are passing, to note up here. The previous night, the tower where Silwe had arranged to meet Gwen and Eller is a place she often used to escape as a girl. She knows its rooms and floors so well. She could survive being chased through them. And now, I wait, I suppose. Dusk gets deep as rain puddles in here. Alive is alive. Better to have a plan if that beast breaks through. You don't mean any of this, do you, beast? And as you can see, there's quite the barricade of debris. You're trapped in whatever sickness has changed you. The tower has outlived generations, weathered and sagging. It defends nothing now, not even from rain. But, as the old will tell you, precious things go overlooked in a ruin. What lodges amid the bones of failure is often the dreams that drove it. That book. Why have I never? I guess you're wondering why I'm talking to myself, huh, Beast? I also wondering. The book's heavier than its slender spine suggests. Look at all this. It's full of strange stories, the folklore of folks long forgotten. Circles of the Ancients is wild nonsense. How a woodcutter can read the rings inside an old trees to find the exact moment a grove began calling itself a forest. Gift of the Inscriptor proposes an unlikely legend. That one spider-limbed man crafted all written language. He trapped ants between vellum and pressed them so long and relentlessly that they became leathers. The Dametrack magician says a magician was born who banged solid rings together so stubbornly that they joined, and by this method he connected all the stories ever told. Silwe reaches the last word of the final tall tale. A few blank pages are left. This book, something in her feels like it's coming loose, but she can't tell exactly what. There's room in it for another story. It's cold. I'm stuck here. This is a warning, but where do I begin? Here in our yondering country, Silwe writes, words are ready. Omens have formed in the fabric of everything, and she's beginning to recognize them now. Some are just misgivings. They've crept through her body like the sourceless aches one wakes with. Others are more substantial. Now they seem lightning plain, a promise of thunder. For in the wild blacks, woods where birds once belled, a hateful silence churns. Pain lights Silwe's head. Subsides. I made it to morning? She lowers her bleary eyes. Her story lies before her in luminous script. Empty pages have sprouted behind it. Why do I feel powerful? All right, we have a choice here. Yuichi, you can choose to pull a spoon from your pocket or a staff. The choice is yours between a spoon or a staff as a weapon. And we can, at this point, look at character shoots as well. A palm-loving twist, yes. Yes, indeed. We all know staffs like that, walking through the forest. Alright, looks like I'm choosing staff. And I am going to immediately raffle off that character again. So just a reminder, it is active people in the chat, and it's a very short period, so a lot of rotating to be had, I'd imagine. All right, Jazium, you are now the Silway. Well, Beast, it's time. I'm getting out of here. Focard is a rager. It's like a boar. It charges without seeing, misshapen tusks swinging wildly. So, Silway, unlike the other two, don't really attack directly. She interfuses with her scenery. So I'll explain that now. Interfuse with an object, then use the object to attack. Use the interfuse ability to connect with fire or scenery. Different types of scenery will give different effects and abilities. Many of these will let you use the scenery to damage enemies. So if I interfuse, as you can see, interfuse is a swift action. I can use it freely once per turn. And buckets will give me Splinter Blast. Let's rotate this around. Cabinet, Splinter Blast. Fabric would give me Constrict. Telescope would give Barrage. Most of the wooden objects are going to give Splinter Blast. And then the Forge here, because it's made of stone, will give Discus. I'm going to use the Telescope for Barrage. So now I have interfused the Telescope. And I can click Barrage for 3 to 5 damage within 5 range. And it blocked it. Unfortunately for that Rager, it's also behind debris, and it can't reach me. So now I'm going to interfuse the Forge instead. Now, not all interfuses will break their origin objects. Block again. Dear Lord. Did you just die? There we go. Alright, victory. Jazium, you're about to have a level up choice here. Silway, Thistlebody, is now a Greenhorn Mystic. You have a choice of 3 different abilities. Vigor Flow. For each interfused object, Silway's physical attacks gain +2 damage. Interfused objects take 1 damage whenever a physical attack is used. Naturalist, which is an advanced interfusion. When interfusing plants, you get Vine Wrench. Trees get a passive. Upon interfusing with a tree, enter Grey Plane. Grey Plane is a state where you ignore armor. Or Mythweaver, which is other advanced interfusions. It gives you statues, +1 potency for interfused statues. Potency is like magical potential. Garb, which is a 50% chance to Mystic Reflex damage while interfused. Books, which is a lore dump. And textiles, a greater constrict. And you have picked Naturalist. Alright, and we are going to give you the Cloak of Courage. Not really a choice there. So this is what you look with the cloak on. And you are a 21-year-old Greenhorn Mystic. More monsters roam the ruined halls and rattle the rotting furniture. But Silway moves quickly, sensing her way in the dark. Daylight lands on her wrists, cool wind soothes her tired eyes. It's still the same world. She closes the tower door, gentle to make no noise. That was the Mystic's art that I did, right? Tower? Where'd I get that from? Could it have just happened? Is it just one of those things? Things a woman's born with that might blossom in her life when she needs them? Maybe, I can't know. But I can already feel the responsibility. Silway! Maybe in starlight, I'll understand it deeper. Silway, you bunkhead. Hey, Silway, something happened? Gwen? Yes, sorry. Eller's voice just bounces off my ears sometimes. Oh, rivalries, right? Gwen and I only barely made it. Yeah, see that smoke on the horizon? That's from the town. Yeah, that's Dametrack. It burned? Things are different than they were. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've ever seen something quite like this. A monster? Sure we have. We slay monsters. Okay, well, I do magic. Whoa. Alright. Give me a second. Coffee o'clock. Currently, we need to assault Lightstride Rest. So Lightstride Rest is the tower. It's the remaining monsters in this tower. Is a Lurking Gorgon strength of 2. If captured here, when the story develops and we develop Lightside Rest, we can gain hides, ingots, and spell thread. If you take a look up here, it will show you what you get at the end of the chapter, and those materials are going to be used to improve gear. I should, however, speak about some strategy here, because I figure for new players, this might be helpful. Now, I will say, very plainly, I am not a Wildermyth expert, not in the least. But there are sort of two concepts here in terms of speed. So, when you're doing chapters, there's two approaches. One is the bare minimum, and one is the maximum. And there is pros and cons to both. So, as far as strategy goes, every single attack and every single liberated region adds to the Calamity cards, which will be here eventually. So, if you decide to do a full clear, like a completionist, what ends up happening is inevitably your gear from being a completionist will be better, but it will take longer, and your characters might retire sooner. So on the introduction, on the tutorial, this isn't that much of an issue because it is a shorter campaign, and there's essentially, unless you get a character killed, there's really no chance that they're going to retire before the end of this introduction. If you hit the character cards here and go to the retirement age, we have 47, 68, of course, Mystics retire later, and 55. The retirement ages can also change over time as they gain abilities or they transform. But I just want to make it clear that there's sort of two approaches. One, where you beeline for the campaign's finishing quest line, and two, where you attack and develop everything as you go. So for this introduction, I am going to attack and develop everything as I go, because there's essentially no penalties for doing so in the introduction, but for other campaigns that might not be true. So when we are assaulting, you can pick who you want to assault. You have to assault with at least one. Experience is split amongst those that attend, so there is a bit of an advantage to assault with just a single person or two, a smaller party. Larger parties will, as a result, level up a little bit more slowly. But given that we're on the adventurer difficulty, there really isn't a need to min-max. The game is going to be very forgiving. I'm not going to pretend this is rational, but at least there's a plan, I guess. A perfect understanding isn't likely to emerge. What drove these beasts are where they came from, what drove them to attack the town of Dametrack. But letting them nest here feels like the wrong idea. We don't have a plan, do we? Sure, well... Alright, as a group, let me put this up as a very quick poll. So, this decision here is what benefit we will get from starting this battle. Courage or stoicism. I'm not going to leave this up very long, but just vote 1 or 2, and I'll put up the decision timer here. And then as soon as we enter the battle, you'll see the benefit of that choice, whether it be stoicism or courage. Looks like we're going to go stoicism. I just came out of there. If we're methodical, patient, we can fend them off at least. Okay. So stoicism, whoa, all heroes gain +1 warding. That's what that said before I clicked too fast. And then we have, this is telling you about the action points, which I mentioned before, where single action, end your turn, when they have red in them, a regular diamond costs 1 of 2 action points, a swift action is free, and free is free forever, like a swap weapon. Alright, so we're headed back into this tower. I'm going to have Gwen swing this door open. And as you can see, I don't immediately see any enemies, so I'm going to proceed to the left door. Silway's going to join her. And Allard done as well. I'm also making use of warding, so now all 3 are warded next to one another. Alright, I'm going to use my swift action on Gwen to swing the door open. And then take a half turn up. And it doesn't look like there's anything here, so I'll stand by the next door. Silway is going to take a half turn and interfuse with the forge. And wait. And then Allard is going to stack up behind Gwen and wait as well. Okay, let's throw this door open, and we've revealed a raccoon and a roe. So raccoon is a throws tail spikes like a sort of like a, you know, spined like a quill boar or something from World of Warcraft. In this instance, we have multiple options available to us. We can move and close the distance, or we can enter Guardian, knowing that the raccoon will throw quills at us, like a hydralisk. Yeah, that's a pretty good reference. We're going to want to close the distance. And Silway, I am going to interfuse with the tentacles for Discus and send Discus. Oh, let me withdraw. Oh no, that was okay. The forge was the Discus. So the tentacles are giving me also Discus. So I'm going to Discus the roe and the raccoon, and if it hits, it can bounce. And there we go. Double hit. And then because Silway and Allard are rivals, they sort of play off of one another, interestingly enough. So I'm going to have Allard move up and shoot the roe. Oh yeah, watch this. As they're trying to one-up one another. And here is the experience. And I found a spear. This really only makes sense to give to Gwen, as the other two don't use spears, so it's going to replace her pitchfork. One thing that's important is, so she right now has a tier 0 great spear, and this is a tier 1 great spear. So her damage will go up, and her stunt damage will go up. I'm not going to be naming the gear, because there will be way too many options. And then here is a choice I will leave to all of you. So stunt chance is like crit chance. And currently, Gwen's is 15, would raise it up to 21. Allard's is 15 to 21. And Silway's would be 15 to 21. What do you all think so far? I've turned off a lot of the other Chena Point redemptions, knowing how sort of interaction rich this game would be. So I don't have the I have the Yoda cam, but I don't really have the other redemptions that I would normally have. Okay. The ranger, the hunter, will get the crit charm. The last misshapen creature folds its bones and dies. Blue fluid darken the dust. It's fascinating, grim, the color in their veins. What's it mean? Hey, look at us. Look at what we did. Yeah. Day drops, day rises, dusk is sweet. The sunrise is sweeter. It's not long before they've cleaned the old tower up a bit. There's still 1,000 questions this place excites. Someone's got to keep fighting. Our roads, our hills, and our wild places. The threat will only grow. We all feel that. Let's not wait to be overrun. We're a company of heroes now. We'll walk the land, we'll fight. People need us. We'll give ourselves a name and make sure it's one they'll sing. Sounds like you've thought about this. Name the company. We have a choice. Choice number 4 would be I choose the name. And put the timer up. We can either be called the Owl's Order, which kind of reminds me of Avatar. You know how the owl guarded the library. Number 2, the Apes of Poetry. Very strange. Number 3, the Seekers of the Verdant Rook. Or 4, I make a name. And you don't want to know the name I'm going to give us. Oh, that's it. All right. Enter my own name. We will call ourselves... Let's see. Almost unanimous. I know. It's rare that we have such very clear decisions here. Yoda Order. Right, buddy? He's not even looking up. Oh, man. Come on, dude. At least look up for a second. After that, the 3 of them are inseparable. Rumors are rampant. Heroes are needed. This world will be flooded in sorrows, but its defenders are joined by a fire that night. Here follows the steps of the tales of the Yoda Order. Be remembered. All right, Calamities. So after you battle, you get a calamity, and these calamities increase the difficulty of the campaign that you're on, and they are not cancelable. So this calamity card I received gives extra armor to the row. And there it is. So there are 5 types of monsters. As you can see, there's Deepists, which is not present in this current game. There's Dralvin, Gorgons, Morthagi, and Thrixel. And the row belongs to the Gorgons. But we will find some of the other enemies here. And the tutorial is now complete. Get legacy points by taking new sites. Spend legacy points to do things like recruit heroes, build stations, or cancel calamities. Use them wisely. Securing sites. Once a site is free of enemy control, you can spend some time to secure it. Secured sites provide resources now and at the end of the chapter, which you can use to craft gear at town or between chapters. So here's what I'm going to do. Gwen, you are going to go back and recruit from here. Silway and Aller. Silway, you are going to... let's see. Aller, you are going to scout. And Silway, you are going to investigate the tower further. So I've just split the party, which is funny because it told me that they were inseparable, to all do different things. Now, the other thing that I'm going to pull right now is What class should we recruit? Warrior, Hunter, Mystic. I'm going to leave this up a little while, because it's going to take a little while for us to recruit the new person. But for 3 legacy points, we can add someone new to the Yoda Order. And let's see. Who do we want? We need... Greed Wagon. No, I don't want a Greed Wagon. Here we go. A bookish goofball. Ilgar. Lovely. Let's have a name that I can say more easily. Nilnik? Graben. Alright, that's easier. Alright, Graben. Alright, so we're going to have Graben here. And I have to update some things. So we have Graben, which will be raffled off. And it looks like a warrior. It didn't take long to trek back to Dame Track, and the town still seemed like the best bet for finding another able pair of hands. Wait! It's you! From the Heroes! Right. Anyway, I was hoping you'd come back. What? Did we miss a few Gorgons? Oh, everything's fine. And that's just it. It's been quiet in Dame Track so far, but I heard those things you said. That talk of becoming big, impressive heroes with capes and battle axes and things. And it stuck with me, more than I would have thought. Is that how we put it? I suppose forming a company of heroes can get one a little fired up. You're right, though. I assume there's all manner of horror and squish and wait, what? Okay, and fighting for your life too. But shoot, you get to look like an absolute legend while doing it. Well, we could use another fighter on our side if you're game. Oh, fantastic! I'm glad you offered. Otherwise, I'd have to just look awkward. I would have to just awkwardly follow you around until finally you handed me a weapon. Far be it from us to turn you down then. And okay. Train Graben as a warrior. Let me hide that pole. And now we have the raffle. So the raffle timer's up, and in 2 minutes' time, I'll be raffling Graben off to someone who has been active in the chat. So at this point, I have to prepare the recruit with Gwen. And Aller is going to be done scouting soon. So Wounded Nut Top. That doesn't make me feel good. And it has a strength of 3, and it would supply us a bunch of Heartwoods. I'm also going to have him now rejoin Silway to continue researching the current site while we prepare this recruit. Thank you for tuning in to Wildermyth, which originally aired live on Twitch. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Keep in mind that many of the choices are left up to the live viewers of the stream. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming stream. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, everybody.